Please deliver your letter by hand, your note said. You know where to find me. I thought of the beat-up metal door next to the garage, and I thought, yes, I do. Because you are still here after all to read my letter. Marcus is here. And when he reads the letter, he'll realize that he has seen himself arrive before he left. That's what my letter is for. And then, in who knows what year, the year of the burn scale, the year of the dome, Marcus will come back. You will have come back. You will come back with a mouthful of paper. You won't be yourself when you reach me, but you will get the job done. You will save Sal. You already have. Marcus is the magic thread. You are the laughing man. You are Marcus. Marcus is the laughing man. Or he will be when he's old. None of it makes sense, my brain yelled. But all of it is true, I answered. Like I said, it lasted just under a minute. It lasted 55 seconds to be precise, which is how long it took Mom to guess 6 categories and win $10,000. And then Mom and I are on the stage together, jumping up and down until they make us get off. Things that open. We take the bus home because we think it'll be so much fun to take the bus home knowing that we are rich now and can take a cab anytime we want to. And it is fun. Sal and I don't talk much, but we lean into the turns the way we used to when we were little and actually believe that we could make the bus tip over. After Mom won her $10,000, she played another speed round, but this time she had to be partners with the other celebrity. He wasn't as dumb as a bag of hair, Mom says on the bus, but he wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer either. They lost. But Mom gets to keep her $10,000 and her $2,100 cash bonus. Not bad for a day's work, she says, smiling at me. Not bad at all. When we got to the lobby, Louisa has to change into her uniform from work. Want to watch some television, Sal asked me. I tell him I would love to, another time. Upstairs, Mom puts on a record, and she and Richard dance for a while in the living room, while I sit on the couch and grin, just watching them. Then I go to my room, shut my door, and pull the box out from under my bed. Right on top of everything is a big envelope for Mom. Richard gave it to me a week ago for safekeeping, and underneath it is Richard's birthday present. Mom is in the kitchen, making birthday tacos and a box cake. Every once in a while she yells, "Woohoo, we're rich." I write on Mom's envelope with a marker. I personally do not care about wall-to-wall carpeting. Louisa says carpets are full of dust mites anyway. I make an origami frog for Richard and put it on top of his box. I make an origami frog for Mom and put it on top of her envelope. I can't get enough of those origami frogs. It's time for dinner. We eat the tacos, we sing, we cut the cake. I give Mom her envelope. What's this, she says. It's not my birthday. She admires her frog. She reads my note about the carpeting and the dust mites and gives me a funny look. She opens the envelope, which is full of applications for law school. She looks at them. But I can't. Then she sits back in her chair and says, "Wow." It was our secret plan all along, mine and Richard's. I gave Richard his present. He admires his frog and puts it on the table next to Mom's frog so that their little frog feet are touching. He opens the box. Inside are 2 keys, one for the lobby door and one for the apartment. I made a king ring for them both. It's a sailor's knot, 2 strands pulled tight. He knows how to untie it, of course, but I don't think he ever will. Things that blow away. The next morning I wake up early, cut myself a big piece of Richard's birthday cake for breakfast, and start writing the letter. I'm writing it in the journal with the clouds on the cover that Mom gave me for Christmas. I'm at the top of the 2nd page when it dawns on me that this letter I'm writing is kind of a horrible burden. and I start feeling really sorry for Marcus. It's not a letter that most people would want to get. I know it will be a big relief to know that he didn't accidentally cause the Laughing Man's death, your death, after all. That's a good thing. But at the same time, he'll understand that he saw his own death, which I have to think is a very hard thing. He'll also realize that he's going to discover the secret of traveling through time, which is a thing so incredible that most people would consider it a miracle. Of course, he's the total hero of the story, but there isn't a happy ending for him. I start at the very beginning, when you first showed up in the fall, and I'm thinking about everything you did. The spot on the corner where you stood, your kicking practice, the way you muttered to yourself, book, bag, pocket, shoe. There was a reason for all of it, except for one thing. I don't understand why you used to lie on the ground with your head under the mailbox. Why? It must have been annoying the way the kids were always banging on it. I raise my head slowly from the journal, then I get dressed in a hurry, pulling a sweater over my pajama top. I leave a note on the kitchen table, grab my keys, and slip out of the apartment before Mom and Richard wake up. It's almost warm morning. No one is on the corner, which is good, because I probably look pretty strange lying face up on the sidewalk and inching myself under the mailbox. It isn't as easy as I thought it would be. The underside of a mailbox is really ugly, a bunch of paint-splattered metal joints and bolts. I see the square of paper right away. It's small, about the same size as the notes you left me, and it's wedged under a metal seam that says, so that it stays flat against the bottom of the box. I realize that it's held there with a key, our old key, the one we hid in the fire hose. I adjust my head so that I'm looking straight up at the paper, the way you must have. A woman's face stares down at me, drawn in pencil. She's old, like you were. Her white hair is pulled back behind her head. Her dark eyes are looking to the side a little. She has this playful smile. It's really kind of a beautiful drawing. People can get old all different ways, I guess. Some people change a lot, like you. I could have stared at your face for a week, and I never would have guessed that you were Marcus. You were so much thinner than he is, and the bones above your eyes stuck out. Maybe that was because of all of what you had put yourself through, all the diamond jumping. But the old woman's face in the drawing still holds some youth. It's the dark eyes, maybe, or the smile. It's hard to say exactly how we recognize other people, but I know without a shadow of a doubt that this woman is Julia. Marcus and Julia. I think about how she whipped her diamond ring off and used it to explain the way she sees time, and the way Marcus stared at her afterwards. Maybe he was thinking that he wasn't alone in this world after all. I get this rush of happiness, this flood of relief. Marcus won't be alone. He'll have a partner. He'll have Julia. I'm wiggling out from underneath the mailbox, and some guy with a big black dog is looking at me funny. And I suddenly remember what you said to me, practically on this exact spot, the afternoon I gave you my soggy cheese sandwich. I'm an old man, and she's gone now, so don't worry, okay? I believe that you were ready, but I still think it's sad. I leave the drawing there, wedged underneath the mailbox with our key. It doesn't seem right to take it. I figure it will be there for a long time, and then someday it'll just blow away. Sal and Miranda. Miranda and Sal. Sal and I don't wait for each other these days, not purposely, but if we happen to be leaving school at the same time, if he isn't going to a friend's or to basketball practice, and I'm not going to Anna Marie's or Julia's or Colin's, then Sal and I walk home together. And we are better this way, together because we want to be. He understood that before I did. We walk up to Broadway, past Jimmy's. We walk to Amsterdam, past the garage where the boys still say stuff to us and we ignore them. We walk past Marcus's door. We pass Belle's. We crossed the last street to your old corner where the mailbox is scratched up with your words. And when we are safely across, Sal always gives a little salute. And sometimes I look up and shake my fist at the sky. Parting gifts. My letter is almost finished now. Very soon I will bring it to Marcus, just like you asked. There are things I could tell him, things I think I've figured out. Like those naked guys, the ones running down the street the days we had to eat lunch in the school cafeteria, and the one I saw flickering in and out before the accident. They were all you, learning how to get here, practicing. You said you couldn't carry anything, and I guess that includes clothes. That's why you carried my notes in your mouth. Or I could give Marcus some advice. Like if he gets hungry while he's visiting, he'll find Anna Marie's perfectly good lunch in the garbage can across from the schoolyard, where she threw it away every day for 6 weeks. But I'm pretty sure that you figured that out for yourself. Or I could tell him about Julia, but I've decided I won't say much. I'll just hand him my letter and say, try not to land in the broccoli. He'll understand. He's a smart kid.